Pope Francis, the first Latin American leader of the Roman Catholic Church, has died. Good evening. Thank you for joining us for First Coast News at 7. I'm Jessica Clark. A spokesman for the Vatican announced his death early this morning, praising Francis for his example as a true disciple of the Lord Jesus. He was 88 years old. The Pope's death has spiritual leaders throughout the world and here on the First Coast reflecting on the way Pope Francis led. I visited with the General Superior at a convent in St. Augustine to talk about this Pope's impact.
He's definitely a different pope.
Sister Kathleen Carr is the General Superior at the Sisters of St. Joseph Mother House or Convent in St. Augustine.
I think the first word that comes to me about Pope Francis is humility.
Carr never met Pope Francis, but she did meet Pope John Paul II in 1987 in Miami.
Yeah, that's me right there.
Pope Francis was inspiring to her, as Carr has worked with the Haitian community in Miami and then as General Superior now of the Sisters of St. Joseph in St. Augustine, taking on the restoration of a historic black schoolhouse and turning it into a neighborhood center focused on helping single mothers.
One of the things he said to the priest was, as a good shepherd of your flock, you should smell like your flock. And I have often thought about that and reflected on that. And the only way you can smell like your flock is to be among them and, not just standoffish. And I believe that's how he was. I think he smelled like us.
Sister Kathleen Carr said Pope Francis truly lived the way Jesus lived, dismissing the finer living arrangements and adornments that other popes have had.
I think the thing that I often related to with him was
Carr tells a story of how she, as principal, would often sit on the line, or the ground, with children at the school in Miami. One day, one of the children said about her,
and this little girl says, I love Sister Kathleen because she sits on the line with us. And that always touched me, and I thought about that a lot with the Pope. He's one of us. In fact, he'll even get down and sit on the line with us.
One woman's perspective on a pope, a woman in a religious leadership role, reminded to live and lead humbly. That was a great conversation today. The Pope's funeral is expected to take place later this week.